In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about two different ways to make a cinemagraph. These are like a hybrid between photos and GIFs in that only a small section of a cinemagraph is usually animated. To start out, you need to take a short 2 to 3 second video with your camera. It can be longer, but you're only going to need a couple seconds of the video. Depending on your camera, you might need to convert the video to a Photoshop-friendly file format like AVI. I recommend OneTube Video Converter or Miro Video Converter. Both of these are free in the App Store. So once you have your AVI, you're going to open Photoshop and then go to File, Import Video Frames to Layers. You can select the entire video, or if you want to just select a portion of the video, you can also do that by holding Shift. And because this video is pretty long, we're going to do that and just take this small portion of the video. So next you need to make sure your animations window is open by clicking Window, Animation. So most GIFs and cinemagraphs are between 20 to 100 frames. Anything more than that is going to be pretty ridiculous to deal with. So first isolate the part that will make the best loop. Once I have that, I'm going to go in and delete all the extra unnecessary frames. Now that I have a rough idea of what the loop is going to look like, I can start masking out the areas that I want to remain stationary. But you'll also notice that I took out those weird black bars that were on the top and bottom, and I've cut out enough frames so that I have a rough idea of what this loop will look like. You can see that it'll jump a little, but we should be able to fix that by the end. So we're going to mask out the areas that we want to remain stationary by selecting the second frame right here, and then selecting the section of the photo that we want to animate, and then masking out everything else. So to do this, I like to use the polygonal lasso tool, and I'm just going to grab this area here, here, because that's the only thing in my picture that I want moving. And then I'm going to select the inverse of this by using Shift Command I and then just deleting it. So then the only thing moving in this frame will be this hand right here. The next thing we have to do is select each frame individually and do this same thing. So for frame number 3, we go to layer number 3, and we can actually, this selection will still work for this, so I can keep going and going. Okay, so I've masked out all of the extra stuff in the photos in all of the frames that I don't want, and I've left them all with just this rough shape remaining. And then when we go back, for every frame we have to put in and make sure layer 1 is at the base of every frame. Otherwise we'll get an animation that just looks like this with no actual context. So you do this by going here, so like on layer 5 it's blank, we go to layer 5 and then check layer 1, which is here, to make sure that there's actually context there for the moving hand, and that's not just a ghost hand that's moving around. So this is what it looks like now. You'll notice it's still a little bit shaky at parts, but you get the rough idea. Okay, so to save this, we're going to go to File, Save for Web and Devices, and then choose GIF. And it's up to you how you want to save it. You can select the settings that best fit what you're trying to achieve, but for web, you'll want to keep it probably under 1 megabyte. And then go to Save, and then save it where you want, and that's it. Now you have a cinemagraph. The second way to make a cinemagraph is a lot easier than the first. You can use an app called Cinemagram, which is downloadable through the App Store for free. It's kind of like Instagram, but for GIFs and cinemagraphs. I've already taken a video that I'll use to demonstrate how this is done. It's best to select 3 to 4 seconds of the video and then click Next. So for this video, I'll use this part right in the middle, and I can use that orange slider to adjust it to the specific part of the video that I want to crop. Here we can choose to apply a number of different filters if we want, and for this one I think Soul looked good. It's also the area where we'll mask out the parts of the picture that we want to animate. I decided it would look cool to have just the candles flickering and freeze the water, To do that, we go to Mask, choose the brush size, and then just paint in the part of the picture we want to animate. So for this picture, it'll just be the top right hand corner where those candles are flickering. Once it's ready to go, I can share it through a number of social media channels or through email. I just have to click save, and then I can add a caption and add it to Facebook or Twitter. And that's how it's done. Here's the final version that I uploaded online. Cinemagrams are a cool way to spruce up a website or add an interesting element to your photo portfolio. Also, they're a lot of fun.